like that.
Yo, welcome to the Big Mike and Little Ant channel. And I'm here today for a special review with a special guest. We're going to be reviewing the Many Saints of Newark, the Soprano prequel movie. And as you can see, my special guest, Bruise Guy Chris, a good friend of mine. He has his own channel, Bruise with the what is it called now? Bruise Crew or something like that?
It's still Bruise Crew. It's Bruise Crew Review, but honestly, I'd have to check. I appreciate the plug, but shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you the right plug. Anyway, we actually review some older movies on his channel as well. So I know he'd be a good guy to bring here now. With this Many Saints of Newark, we went to see it together. So I thought it would be perfect for us to actually review it together. And I wanted to just let you guys know we're coming at it from two different perspectives. I myself was a huge Sopranos fan. I've probably seen the full series probably 4 or 5 times in my lifetime. I own a DVD box set. This is when DVDs were still popular, right? So when the series ended 2007, and the full series box set came out with like a book of chronological book and information, it cost $250 at the time, $250, and I actually own that still to this day. Now, hindsight being 2020, streaming now. Yeah, it seems like a lot of money for a DVD box set, but at that time, those DVD sets were everything. So I do still own it though, so maybe it could be a collector's item. Who knows? But I was a huge fan. To me, the show is still the second best show in TV history, behind Game of Thrones. So Chris, I wanted to say he wasn't a huge fan of Sopranos. He's seen a few episodes sparingly, right? I'm correct.
Like 3 at most. I won't lie.
Yeah, here and there, but with it being so heavy in pop culture, he did, of course, know all about it. And then he is a big movie fan, regardless. So either way, I'll be able to get his interpretation as a movie, but also coming from a novice Soprano fan. So, Chris, let's just get started here. So, coming from a novice Soprano fan, what was your thoughts about this movie when they first announced it, as far as like anticipation and all?
I would say you can. For anybody curious, you can definitely call me the uninitiated. When I first heard about it, I was like, meh. You know what I mean? I thought to myself, it's a big ask to have a single movie be a prequel to a series, especially one as long running as The Sopranos. So my first thought was, no lie, like, oh shit, I wonder did Mike hear about this? That was as far as it went, But the more I heard about it, I was like, I might check it out. I like movies in general. I think almost everyone at least kind of likes mob movies. And that was it. I wasn't like dying to see it, but I was like, I might check it out. You know what I mean? But then I hit Mike up about it. And I was like, I would definitely check that out with you. You know what I'm saying? Because Mike was really into it. And that's as far as it goes, honestly.
And you mentioned also about mob movies. Now, do you have a favorite particular or anyone you were that you most fond of?
Honestly, again, for anybody who gives a shit about Sopranos or is heavy on mob movies, my answer is going to seem so basic. I really like most of The Godfather, the first one. The second one, cool. And because I've seen it a million times, Goodfellas is cool, but I don't know how deep dive of an answer you want, Mike.
I was throwing out a few. How about Casino? Casino is one of my favorites.
Casino is really good. I really like without spoiling, maybe somebody hasn't seen it. I really like a scene where somebody gets dealt with, people from the top come. Man, it's like, damn. You know what I mean? That was before surveillance and all that. And let's just say they really got the job done. Like there was there's no coming back from that.
Okay. So you have been entertained by my movies in the past.
Definitely. I always loved it. I think most of America, we love crime movies, organized crime movies, or you love that kind of appeal. Like, you know what I mean? Like you love to hear the story how the thugs live and worry. Nas said that shit in general. So, you know what I mean? You get people from the burbs who don't know, you know what I mean, who wasn't even in areas like we was when we was being raised, who just like movies like In Too Deep. So, of course, I like, an action movie or you like to see people bend the rules and there's an organized crime. There's a kind of romance or a romance, a romantic view at least. So I like that. There are a lot of things I don't like about mob movies in America's fascination with it. But again, I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah. So me too, man. I think that my movies in particular, I think 50 said it. I used to watch movies and root for the bad guy, and then the bad guy dies. And I
I
think
turned it off before the end. Yep.
yeah, sort of because the bad guy dies. And I think that was uh one of the things that mob movies brought to the mainstream. Before that, I think it was all about the hero. But the police or FBI, they're always like the secondary character in the mob movies, besides
Yeah, as they should be.
Yeah, as they should be. Now, for my anticipation, I want to go back. Like, I was excited because it was Sopranos, but also wary because, of course, it was a movie coming from a TV show,
Yep.
and I mean, and knowing that, spoiler alert, but it's not a big spoiler, that the movie is about Dickie Moltisanti rather than Tony Soprano. Um, I thought that, me knowing who Dickie was, I thought it was interesting, but also thought they should have really focused on the Tony aspect, from just the anticipation of it. But I still was very interested to see, basically what I know about their relationship from the show and other characters and how they were. So, Chris, after you so we went to the movies last weekend to watch this thing. So I remember in the movie theater, you were just like, "Is something gonna happen?" Stuff like that. So talk about your experience watching the movie. What was going on?
I'm gonna try. Maybe I feel like you want me to give my non-spoiler, like not ruin it for anybody who want to see it. Yeah. My take as the uninitiated.
Sure.
Again, we going in. We boys. I'm saying me and Mike, we homies. But I mean, you couldn't have a better. He loves this. I know next to nothing about it. I know Tony Soprano name. I know his therapist, psychiatrist, whatever you want to call her. Mm-hmm. I'd clap them cheeks. She was in Goodfellas. My experience watching it, man, it was like, all right, got up to a good start, a decent start. Like, it didn't need to be blockbuster. You don't get a high polished feel. But the main characters, whether you want to call it Dickie or a young Tony, those actors do a good job. But early on in the movie, there's things that bother me. Like even me, like I said, I don't know much about The Sopranos, but I know characters. I know like invisibly, and I was able to spot. Oh, that's supposed to be a young this guy or that guy, and I'm like, his makeup is terrible. They try to make light of a certain character wearing wigs and then being bad wigs, but it's like that's just shit. It looks like y'all realize y'all did a bad job with this character, and you was like, oh, let's poke fun at it. Maybe that wasn't, but there was a lot of holes in it to me. Not holes, but there was a lot of things that I just couldn't accept from a movie. It's like y'all went. The show Soprano was always, a high production. So the things that bother me, like the mannerisms of certain characters being off, it was like they were almost like I told you, Mike, during the movie, I was like, yo, it's almost like they're playing caricatures of these characters instead of young versions. That bothered me.
Like they were doing like an impersonation or something.
Yeah, it was like SNL mobsters. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And even to me, one of the best actors, the main character, can we call Dickie Montes? Can we call him the main character?
Dickie Moltisanti, yeah.
Okay, I was way off. Even when he would go, oh, that seemed like so bad. It was like, are they telling y'all to make this bad? John Bernthal, I love that dude. You know what I'm saying? The Walking Dead is when I first seen him. In this movie, he does a solid job for the most part, but there are times when you're like, did they tell you to act poorly? Because I know you can do better. Mike, I felt like it was aimless. If anyone's ever seen Wolf of Wall Street and you're one of the 6 people who thought it was a fun time, but not a great movie like everyone else, because everyone loves this movie except me and like 5 other dudes.
I don't like it either.
It was aimless. You can be aimless in a show, like a 1, 2, 3 episodes, and then pick up momentum. I don't feel like you can be aimless and make the audience wonder, when are they going to wrap this up into a neat little package for 2 hours in a movie, and that's it. That's where I felt unfulfilled. I felt like it was good acting for the most part, but just not enough for me to give a shit about the movie. To me, Mike even said it. Mike said it should have been a series. Maybe if it's the first and second episode of a series, I'd keep watching. I don't see the need. I didn't leave feeling fulfilled.
You know what's crazy, and I agree with you, Chris, on every one of your points. The caricature part of certain characters. I felt like there's a lot of fan service, which you probably didn't even catch on to.
No.
But I think that a lot of people would, but the fan service that they did was unnecessary, and I felt like it was over the top. And just to me, as a story in itself, take out Sopranos, the writing was horrible. I felt like certain things had no consequence. I felt like certain things were rushed, throughout the story. If I never saw the Sopranos, but even with the Sopranos, either way, the writing was terrible to me. I felt like they dropped the ball. They could have made it a series and probably several seasons if they started with Dickie's story and then led into the rise of Tony up until the part, Tony we got. Because we got like a 47-year-old Tony, in Sopranos. Okay. So we could have started with Tony getting into like 20s and how he, riz up, stuff like that. So I think that was part of their problem. The thing about it is that in Sopranos, Tony talks about to Christopher a lot how his father taught him everything that he know, meaning Dickie, how Dickie showed him the right ways of doing this business. But in this movie, I felt like Tony never even got into the mob ties. So I'm like, Dickie didn't show you anything but tell you to do your homework. I feel like he never actually told you anything about the mob aspect. Am I wrong? Like when I'm watching the movie,
they did a lot of things. I thought they were peppering it, and then it was gonna be like, there you go. But it was just like this. And then at some point, they stopped putting the pepper on it. They're like, yeah, we're going to season. That's enough. And you're like, wait, how do you go from that to that shit I get at the restaurant? They're like, fill in the blank. And that's how it ends,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, certain characters, if you really think back, their motivation, not from your standpoint, certain motivations probably seem like that's stupid, that's weird. From my standpoint, the show does kind of show this character's, I'm gonna say, insecurities and how they can lead to the actions and stuff like that. But
that's a good way to say it.
They're insecurities. But I feel like that if you're a Soprano novice, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
he did it because of that.
That's a big leap. That's how I felt. I was like, Jesus.
Right.
How does anybody survive this life they live?
Yes.
I'm going to go to the grocery store. You forgot my apples? It's like
that's what I'm saying. But if you watch the show, so if you're going to create a movie in any way, and these HBO movies, right? So they've done it with all their great series, Sex and the City. They did it with Entourage, and they did it with now Sopranos. You need to be able to make sure that a person who've never seen it can also understand a lot of it too.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make a movie box office. So everybody who's going to the movie didn't see the show, but maybe interested in the movie. So I feel like they dropped the ball there too. So I don't want to keep you, Chris. I just wanted to kind of do a quick review, add it to my channel since we've both seen it. I think you I don't know if you give me a grade or not, but now that you've had some time to sit on it, how would you grade this movie? How would you rate it? So,
I'm gonna give you some sentences before I do that.
Sure.
I feel like, of course, there are going to be nods to the show that I wouldn't get, and many people won't. I can't really fault it for that. It's supposed to be, a big deal to the people who stayed loyal. You know what I mean, to the series, but make it so that at least when I come in the main story, that I'm like, oh, that was solid. To me, if you look at from start to finish, a little something that happened and throughout the movie, that wasn't even a big deal. I was left with questions about that. Why did this character take it that way? I appreciate what they're trying to do, like make it so that other characters are fleshed out as well, but you don't really get it's like you can kind of have two opinions about this character's motivation to do certain things. So because I feel like it's not enough, if you come there not knowing enough about the show, I gotta give it, I'm not even lying, I wouldn't feel right giving it less than a 4. I gotta give it a 4.5. I gotta give it a 4.5 because I want to give it a 4, but there's a lot that will keep you glued to the screen, and you kind of have hope for it. But by the end, it's like, man, this is under a 5. I can't give it I gotta give it an F-, if that's what we would call it. It's not absolute trash, but it's so aimless. If you don't follow The Sopranos, or if you've never seen the show, go with one of your boys who did. So at least certain things you'll have explanations for. But if you go on your own and you really like mob movies, this is this is not a mom movie. This is like the first episode of a series, and you're gonna be like, why the fuck did I come here? So I give it a 4.5. I don't think anybody watch it if you have HBO Max and you're not a big fan of The Sopranos. That's where I would recommend. Otherwise, if you don't have a mic and you're a Chris, it's not worth your time, man. Go to sleep in the movie theater for the AC or something. But good acting, not a good mob movie, not complete in my opinion. What would you give?
Okay, so
as a fan.
And also, you talked about John Bernthal. I thought it was like a payday for him. I felt like he did lazy acting. I seen him so much better, John Bernthal. Now I think about it, actually.
I feel like he was trying to differentiate between characters. Though. I feel like he was like, I don't want to over mob it, but I gotta, you know what I mean? Like I can't be Dickie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can't be regular tough guy John. I gotta be which is terrible. Every time someone said
I agree.
I want to speak to an actual Italian person and be like, hey man, how do you feel about those O's in the movie?
It fits in The Sopranos though, and it's smooth. Like when they do that.
Word?
It really does.
I feel like they were so terrible in this movie. Like I know
you won't watch. I wish you did, but it fits in the Sopranos movie. I mean, Sopranos show, and it's like smooth, but it doesn't fit. I feel like here they try to drop it. Like you got to think if it's a Sopranos show, which is like 80 episodes, if you get an like every 15 episodes, it doesn't seem so much. But in the movie, you get 2 hours, you get like 4 or 5 times. It seems like a lot.
I didn't believe any of them.
That's my point. But it didn't fit in the movie, I guess.
Okay. Remember in Casino, was it De Niro's man, the old dude with the gray hair, or was it Joe Pesci man's?
Yeah. That was Pesci. That was Pesci's man. Yeah.
Okay. I've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
And it's like I buy it when he do it. You know what I mean? He'd be like, hey, they're busting our neighborhood, they're not paying the dues. What the fuck you want from me? Oh, hey, look at this guy. And he's like, it's believable. In this movie, it always felt like they were like, you forgot to say, they're like,
it's normally like if somebody stepping out of line or say something unexpected, like if a kid say to his mother, "Shut up, mom." Oh, what you say to your mother?
Yeah.
Like, it's smooth though. It works or whatever like that. But not in the movie. Not in the movie at all. But I will say, to me, I'm gonna give you is weird. I have an opposite perspective, but even a lower score. So being a Soprano fan, I'm gonna come with a 4 because there's things that I expected, answers I wanted. You know what I mean? That they never actually answered for me. So I think it was worse for me than it probably was for you coming as a novice, because it's like, first of all, the caricatures of certain characters I've seen for 80 episodes or 70 episodes.
So it cut deeper.
It cut deeper for me. Yeah. I felt like the misuse and underuse of certain characters I wanted to see more of as a younger person. And then, like I said, not answering questions. And then some of the questions didn't make sense what we saw in the show. So again, it's all over the place for me. So I would give it a 4 on my end. Stuff like that.
And I'm about to be out real soon. Highlights. I have 2 highlights if you
highlights would be man. I do want to give a shout out to the guy who played Harold. I said his name a couple times and
you did, and I forgot it each time.
Leslie Odom. Yeah, Leslie Odom. I want to shout out to him or whatever. Okay. Just a shout out that they even made a black character, gave him a screen time as they did. Yeah. I mean, of course, the racism would be there because it's 1960, so it had to be there, or it's not authentic. But Sopranos never did that for a black character. And at the end of the day, Leslie Odom actually, but spoiler, not want to give away spoilers, but I want to say
some weight in the movie.
Yeah, he has some weight. I want to say he has some weight in the movie and stuff. Even at the end and stuff like that. So I want to give a shout out to him. He's one of the highlights for me. And I got to give a shout out to Michael Gandolfini, Anthony. What is it? James Gandolfini's son. He did as his first ever movie, his first ever role. I think he did a good job as playing a young Tony.
It must be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he does look like him, but he also, I think, did a good job studying, has the mannerisms down. I would love to see him even a little older, like I said, like a 1980s Tony, a little bit older, see how that goes. So,
all right. Well, now I got 3 highlights. Like you said, my man, I really appreciate the black characters not just being throwaways and not being just hire any old body. I even liked his cousin. His cousin was believable. His cousin was like, I'm not built for this, but he was along. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you see that in real life where people like, I'm just here because I know you, and things didn't go well. But she don't really got that much of a body. But I really enjoyed the sex scene in the movie. It was I like fluid sex scenes. I don't like when it be like she naked, but what is she doing? You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't even Skinemax level. Like Shorty don't got no rhythm. Like Vanilla Sky. What was Shorty name?
In the movie?
Yeah, not in the, not Cameron Diaz.
Oh, you talking about Nicole Kidman?
No.
What Vanilla Sky?
Vanilla Sky. Nah, Vanilla Sky had this Latin shorty. She gave a great speech in Spanish, and that's when I fell in love with her. But she's very flat, and I remember she showed her titties in the movie, and I was like, I'm sorry, if you're supposed to be kid friendly.
No, you fine.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not. It's pretty too.
Cool. If she's supposed to be sexy, I'm like, her personality is great, but she has the chest that I had when I was like 9. So I was like, why are they doing this? The highlights. So I really enjoyed that. And Ray Liotta, I got to give props to him because
played 2 characters.
Yes, he did, and I feel like the makeup artist was on point when they did that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean, and even though he's not a big character, he only has a certain amount of screen time. You know what I mean? Like different characters have different amount of screen time, but I feel like he's made up for kind of being like he's been getting shitty roles. Like people have just been fucking him over. Remember that Brad Pitt movie we seen him in years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he got fucked over. You're like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, I really appreciated how Ray Liotta is like, I'm older, so I have to do different things. You know what I mean? I'm not main character. I fulfill this role. Very like you believe how stern his character is. Let's just say that. You know.
I agree, and I think, and he did have a dual role, and I think it was a very distinct difference between both roles.
Yeah,
so I felt like that he's Ray Liotta. I mean, he's a great actor, always has been stuff like that. So, well, thank you again, Chris. Again,
appreciate you for having me, man.
Appreciate you for coming on. Look for us again on Brews with the Crew. It's been a big
Stakeout too.
Stakeout too. Big Mike and Little Ant special Many Saints of Newark reviews. Hopefully, have Chris back on for something else moving forward.
Always
and for that, we'll see you guys later. All right. Out.